We got it. There we go. 7th hour. What's up? Make some noise. Wow. What a day it has been today. We've had a Pulitzer Prize winner. We've had poetry. We've had a little bit of everything. But today we've got the most special, which is your peers speaking today, sharing their voices. Before we hear the great writers that we have here, we have to give a lot of thank yous. First off, thank you to Mr. Anderson, Mrs. Inc., the driving force all these years behind Writers Week. Clap it up. Tech crew, clap it up for them. They work and work and work and make things happen here. Couldn't hear me without them. Thank your teachers that bring you here. Say hello, Mr. and Mrs. Ozo. How you doing? Yay. Thank you. And also, they do a lot of behind-the-scenes work as well. And then finally, thank the boosters, maybe your parents, because they help fund this whole thing. So thank you, everyone. Clap it up one last time for everyone we just talked about. So now, we've got some amazing writers, some of the voices from your peers, sharing their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions. Be supportive for them. Clap it up. We have Kate. Come on down, Kate.
Okay. First off, shout out to Mrs. Maneo's AP Lit class. Oh, thanks, guys. Also, shout out to Mr. Felberg. I see you. Yeah, I'm just going to be reading one of my college essays today, so hope you enjoy. I was wondering whose shoes those were, an aunt exclaimed as I stepped into my strappy heels. My 5-year-old self beamed proudly. There are things that are innate to humans, like breathing or blinking. For me, it was walking in heels. I never rolled an ankle, my heels always clicked perfectly, and you bet at the ripe age of 5 that I taught myself to catwalk. There was an odd confidence I had with my heels on, one where I couldn't help but belt Ozzy Osbourne songs and say exactly how I felt. As I strutted myself into first grade, I became surrounded by a phenomenon all too common among grade schoolers, the tomboy epidemic. In order to avoid ridicule from the society that was crayon-wielding first graders, any spot of femininity was rejected. Glittery pink was now social self-sabotage. Since the cool girls didn't like heels anymore, that meant I didn't like them either. Let's just hope no one knew of my heeled boots that I strictly wore in secret. By 6th grade, scuffed-up Converse were my go-tos. My authentic self put up on the shelf next to the heels I outgrew. I wasn't overdressed and overconfident. I was normal. The closer to normal I was, the better. But normal had rules. Being a band kid wasn't considered cool because that automatically labeled you as an annoying kid who couldn't stop quoting overused brain rot. So when I had to lug my large suitcase of percussion gear to school, I made sure to come early to hide it in the band room. Whatever confidence I had to speak my mind was double knotted and cast away with fear of judgment. I couldn't get a word out without calculating whether or not it would be clever enough so that I was not deemed obnoxious. I shuffled into high school with my scuffed-up Converse. Comfortable, quiet, blending in, but nothing else. The week school started, and I went shopping for new shoes. Really, I'd been looking for the exact pair of sneakers I had since my usual shoe supplier, Costco, wasn't doing it for me. Instead, I found myself drawn to a pair of brown suede heels. While my mom called me over to try on another pair of sneakers, I couldn't help but notice the heels had memory foam in them, were a beautiful color, and were on clearance. There was something about them, and it wasn't just that discount. That day, my kindergarten hands reached out. I left the store with only those heels. The day I catwalked into high school with those new heels on, though I was only 2 inches taller and had simply changed my footwear, I never felt more like myself than I did then. I still hesitated that first day, bracing myself for silent judgment and sideways glances. But they never really came, or maybe I just didn't care as much to notice. Now, attributing my successes to a pair of heels may be excessive, but though I didn't notice it then, I started to carry myself differently. The fear of judgment didn't completely leave, it just stopped shaping how I expressed myself and the footprints I chose to leave. Freshman year, I joined the marching band, unapologetically drumming to the crowd because, yes, I am a band kid. I stopped waiting for the perfect, clever phrase to come to me. I stepped onto stage with speech team where I could express myself freely, purposefully, and honestly. I thrive in these communities because I followed the will of my authenticity, trusting the clicks beneath my feet. When I live with authenticity, passion and the right communities follow. I'm not comfortable because I'm blending in. I'm comfortable because I am myself, all the way down to my strappy heels. Thank you. And next up, we have Divya Johnson. Yay.
Hello, I'd like to give a shout out to my mom who's here today. And also, this is a poem from when I was really into Percy Jackson, so it's about who my godly parent would be. If I was a child of a god, it'd have to be Apollo, though I've gotten many others. Aphrodite and Hypnos, Nyx, and Athena, but the brains to prove it. But I've never felt that pretty, though I have been that angry. And all in all, I've never slept that well. And though I love the moon, and that seemed enough to quell, there's not much else, like to scare those around. And I guess I've got the brains, though I'm not that fond of owls. That's why if I was a child of a god, it'd have to be Apollo. I pick up dance quite well, not quite with instruments, but music flows through me like it's taking its rightful place. Though I've never taken archery, I have taken poem. I've always gotten praise, not always deserved. And I'm far too fond of lying, and I always see ahead in movies and music and things that I've read. Although I'm always sick, I always have a cure. Band-Aids, Tylenol, Claritin, galore. And touching back on poetry, as I seem to jump around, I build it into art, I build it into sound. And I guess that while I've never favored the sun, I tan quite well. So I guess it's all right. All of this is why Apollo's more fit, not Athena or Aphrodite or even Nyx. Not any of the 1,000 whose image I could fit. I fit into one, and his is it. Thank you. Next up is Erin Schneider.
Hi, I'm Erin. A little bit of context about this poem that I wrote. If you were at the Poetry Slam, this may sound a little familiar. Quick poll, who here has an older brother? Raise a hand. Love to see it, love to see it. So the other day, I was in the car with my brother, and he was asking me about Writers Week, and he was asking me what my piece was about, and I was like, I'm not gonna tell you that. And he was like, is it about me? I said no, I lied. So this is dedicated to my older brother up in the tech booth. So enjoy it. He's my older brother. He loves me, but he doesn't say it. It's the way he comes to my cold softball games. I can tell he loves me. It's the way he asks me if I want lunch from off campus that I can tell he loves me. It's the way he puts his arm over me when he breaks a little too hard. I can tell that he loves me. It's the way we can talk about music without our mom understanding a single word that I can tell that he loves me. It's the way he brings me homemade ranch when he goes out for lunch that I can tell he loves me. It's the way that he voluntarily fixes my technology. I can tell that he loves me. So, for anyone with an older brother, you know, he may not say it, but I can tell he loves me. Thank you. Next up, we have Remy.
That poem's gonna make me cry. I don't even have an older brother. All right, let me get this turned on. All right. So Hi, my name is Remy. This is my third and my last year doing Writers Week because I'm a senior. I have 4 poems from my collection of over 100 pages, and these are all centered around love, hope, and the indomitable human spirit. I want to shout out Miss Kelly's 7th period Fundamentals of Speech, as well as any previous teachers, English teachers that I've had that are in the room right now. I know that's Miss Mineo. And I also want to shout out my parents in the front row because they came to see me. And it's not just my dad this time. It's awesome. My mom's here too. All right. These 4 are all based on certain things in my life, but they're not like true stories, if that makes sense. So this one's called Lucky 13. In every lifetime, I will find you. On a random Tuesday, on August 9th, at a random diner in Kansas, in the apocalypse, in a cathedral, at a funeral, or while awake, in the molecular atoms of the Big Bang, when I look in the shared dorm mirror, in my credit card pin and the photo roll in my wallet, in an Amy Winehouse song, in a zombie movie or a comedy, a happy ending or a not, in the photo book downstairs and the wind blowing through my ears, in every life, in every moment, in every song, in every word, every breath that fills my lungs, on my birthday and my death day, this universe or the next, the world cannot hold me back from you. I will find you in the distance that separates us from the moon and brings us back home. I will find you in the stardust left trailing from the last ship leaving planet Earth. I will find you as my phone dies out and my cell service dwindles, in the trees we used to climb and the sunsets we watched together. In every lifetime, I am your soulmate. I've prayed and wished for you. In every universe, parallel and backwards, I love you as much as one soul could love another, with all the pigment of a planetary collision. Thank you. This one has, I'm told to give you a small content warning because it has some slightly disturbing imagery. Nothing terrible, though. It's called As I Am. I miss you, and I always will, like a gun to my head, like a knife to my chest, beating, 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 and I remain. I stagger into a stranger's arms, a disfigured mass, and I remember you, and I remain. Though I long to greet you again, a silhouette in the distance, I endure with hope and grief, and I remain. I have no words, but I can sing, and I remain. When I can't sing, I breathe and beat, and I remain. This third one is called Mantra. This has to matter. In an hour, in a day, in a year, in 9, it will matter because I say it does. If nothing else, I will matter. I will matter because I say so. You cannot take this from me. Pry it from my cold, dead heart. You can't. If nothing else, this will be, and it will be longer than you are. It will matter because it is nothing else to do. It will matter, and it has to, and I will as well. Thanks. All right, this last one is actually from my notes app. I'll give you a little context. It's a list of headlines I saw on TikTok. That's the title. But it's a bit rearranged, so yeah. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for the younger version of you who dreamed bigger, loved harder, and believed anything was possible. I've been so worried about getting my life together, I almost forgot I've achieved some of my childhood dreams. You're so sensitive, they say. Well, it's called being human. You should try it sometime. A kind and cheerful character who gets along with everyone, except for one particular person who they seem to despise for some unknown reason. A character being resurrected / resuscitated / rescued even though they don't want to be alive. For once, in death, they would have found peace, only for it to be taken away again. A character's face being severely disfigured in battle, and while everyone else is startled at their appearance, their significant other sees them as the most beautiful, breathtaking creature in the world. What was once dystopian has become distinctly real. Hey Diva, you're actually living proof that genuine people with beautiful souls do exist. I hope you get the future you always talked about having. We only live once. False. We only die once. We live every day. Thank you. Next up is Arya.
Hi guys, I'm Arya. Shout out to 7th period Mineo, which is over there. And this is kind of crazy to read because Erin just read a poem dedicated to her older brother, and my writing is dedicated to my younger brother, who's sitting in Marsh's 7th period all the way back up there. I'm embarrassing you today, Sonny. So this goes out to anybody that has a younger sibling or anybody that's leaving for college, that's leaving somebody behind, or anybody that doesn't have like their sibling living at home. Their sibling has already gone off to wherever they're going in the future. Dear Sonny, I don't remember learning how to walk or to read or to tie my shoes, but I do remember the day they brought you home from the hospital. You were small and ugly and 100% mine. I was so excited to have a Robin to my Batman, a trusty sidekick to do my dirty work. Being your sister was the first thing I ever knew how to be. I don't remember a life in which you weren't there, but this year, things are going to be different. This year, I'm going to college, miles away from home. I've been pretending that I'm going to be totally normal about it, but I think we both know I'm lying. Going to college means that I'm never going to call our house home again. Sure, I'll still have a room, but it won't be down the hall from you. I'll wake up at school, but it'll be at 11 instead of 7, and I'll be walking on a quad instead of speeding down Quinton. And I'm definitely lying when I say that I won't miss you. I'm going to miss you stealing my clothes and my things and my entire personality. I'll miss you copying my music taste and then acting like you discovered it first. I'll miss kicking you under the table and watching you get yelled at for it instead of me. What I definitely won't miss is driving you around everywhere. For the love of God, please get your permit already. Being an older sibling means I never want you to make the same mistakes I did or go through the hurt that I've gone through. It means that I know you can be better than me. So before I go, I want to leave you with a few things. First, always be yourself. I know that everyone has their own expectations of you. I was the first draft and you're supposed to be the final. But it doesn't mean you should be something that you aren't. Trust that you know yourself better than anyone. When the time comes, you'll know where to go, what to do, and how you're going to change the world. But remember, it's always going to be on your time, not on anybody else's. Second, don't be afraid of the unknown. What you don't know is where you're going to learn the most about the world around you. There is so much to see and do and so little time to soak it in. Take that dance class. Go on that trip. Say yes to the things that scare you because once you do that, I know you can do anything. Third, stand up for what you believe in and what you think is right. In a world that feels loud and messy, know what you believe in. Your values reflect your character, and your character is who you are. And remember, whatever you do, whatever happens, remember that you are never alone. I know that sometimes it can feel like you're the only person who is lost and afraid, and trust me, it is so easy to get trapped in that darkness. It feels like you don't know your way out. You don't know where the light switch is. So even in your worst week, when the girl you like doesn't like you back, or you fail a test, or you don't get into your dream college, you are not alone. Your parents are just down the hall. Your friends are a text message from driving over, and I am always going to pick up the phone for you. If I can't find a way to turn the light on, I'll hold your hand and we'll find a way to climb out together. I am so proud of the young man you are becoming. So don't forget that no matter what you do or who you choose to become, you will always have a place next to me. If you ask nicely, I'll even pack you in my suitcase and take you with. So yes, I'll buy you food, I'll take you thrifting, I'll let you have shotgun. I'll let you steal my music and claim it as your own. I'll even let you eat the last muffin. Just don't be a stranger. Love, Arya. Thank you.
Hello. Before I start, I just want to give a quick shout out to Dawson's 7th period Rhetoric of Cinema. So this is kind of different, but I made an animation. It's my interpretation of Unrequited Love. It's a portrayal with my two main characters, which I don't have a name for yet, so if you guys can think of a name that starts with an M or a B, just let me know. Throughout this animation, I experimented with the symbolic meaning of daisies. Daisies represent a new beginning and innocence. I chose a song, I Thought I Saw Your Face Today, by She and Him, and I hope you enjoy.
I connect.
I thought I saw your face today, but I just turned my head away, your face against the trees. But I just see the memories as they come, and I couldn't help but fall in love again. No, I couldn't help but fall in love again. I saw it glitter as I grew and loved it why I never knew. I thought this place was heaven sent, but now it's just a monument in my mind, in my mind. And I couldn't help but fall in love again. No, I couldn't help but fall in love again. The cars and freeways implore me to stay out of this place. My mother said, just keep your head and play as it lays. The cars and freeways implore me to stay out of this place. My mother said, just keep your head and play as it lays. I somehow see what's beautiful, the things that are ephemeral. I'm my only friend of mine. Love is just a piece of time in the world, in the world. And I couldn't help but fall in love again. No, I couldn't help but fall in love again. No, I couldn't help but fall in love again. No, I couldn't help but fall in love again.
All right, amazing performances from everybody. Give them another round of applause. Clap it up again. So here's a nice little plug for Writers Week. If you've never stepped on the stage before, whether you're scared or anything, it's a very liberating feeling to come up here and share your voice in your writing. And I'll bet you once you come up and do it one time, you'll want to do it again. And all of these writers up here, when they present their writing, they're guaranteed like, okay, I'm going to put this piece forward. I want to read this one piece. But a lot of times, once we go through their pieces, it's like round two, and we get more pieces. So we're going to get to that in a second, round two. But a couple quick questions here. First question is going to be for Shui. Can you kind of describe your process and how that was amazing? So kind of talk about how you put that together.
So overall, that was about 2,000 drawings that I did. First, I'm not a storyboard artist, so I just went with the flow on what I was feeling. Just like I said, I wanted to kind of do like the metaphoric of daisies being new beginnings. It's like kind of like Coraline, where every scene has a reason. That's kind of just how I did. I went with the flow.
In terms of, I'm going to turn into like the interviewer here. In terms of time, how long did that take you?
Insane. Last year I did a 4,000 one, which took me 2 months. This one was fully colored, so it took me 3 months. It took me way longer.
Speaking about time and effort, with all writers that are doing something up here, something caught my ear. Remy, you talked about how you had well over 100 pages worth of poetry. How long have you been accumulating that mass of poetry?
So I started the actual document when we had Sierra DeMulder here in 2023, I think, and she inspired me to write a poem. And it just stayed in that Google Doc for a while, and then I was like, wait, I could write more because I had more and more ideas. So a lot of them are dated. Like I know that one's from 2023 because I went back and I found the date it was from, and I just kept adding to that. Sometimes I'll take it from my Google Keep like notes app, and I put it in the Google Doc. Sometimes I edit it there. Sometimes like I went back in my my old like files from middle school, and I have every poem there, even if I really, really hate them, like from middle school, and it just shows like how much progress I've made. So yeah, probably, I mean, if some of them are from middle school, then 5 or 6 years. Yeah.
Have you ever done like a word count just for fun to see how many words it actually accumulated?
I have not, but I would assume if it's 100 pages, and some of them have like multiple poems on them, I would probably assume like 5,000 maybe? Something like that.
Very cool. All right, I'm going to go to the audience for a couple of questions, and then I'm going to go to round 2. Do I have any questions from the audience before we go to round 2? Any questions? Where at? Or up here. Who's got something? No? Did I see a hand up here? No? Okay. All right, we're going to go to round 2, so welcome back, Remy.
I gotta pull it up again. Hold on one second. Sorry, it's gonna take just a second. I was not expecting this. I'll give you some context while you wait. Oh, here it is. This is a poem. It's not as like hopeful as my other ones that I shared, but this is a poem that I did for the Poetry Slam, and Mr. Harridges is asking me to do it again because he didn't record it the first time. And it is based on a true story. I interviewed my dad's dad for this. So it's called The Draft. I was driving when it happened, and I heard my birthday called, 312. It's so funny to think that something you can't control, the day you were brought into the world, could control when you went out of it. So I pulled over and bought a newspaper to see if it was true. I didn't want to be lied to. I turned down a 4-year college scholarship, married at 17, because I was so sure that I was going to go and I was going to die. I don't think war is necessary. If you can't talk it out like a normal person, you don't deserve to run a country. It used to be that everyone went, but then they changed it, and I felt so guilty. He brought us to the memorial, and he just looked at the names on the stones and then took us home. Because some of them were my friends. They were boys like me. Thank you.
Now, you said that was about your grandfather, right? How did you read it for him?
I think I did, but I did tell him when I was interviewing him. I was like, hey, I had an idea for a poem, and I know that you've experienced this, so I want to get your thoughts on this. And we had like a 30-minute call about the draft and things like that.
Awesome. Well, you heard Shui talking about how there was another movie, so we are going to cue that up. So, tech crew, if you could get the projector back on, we're going to get another movie, which is super cool. Thank you. Really fast. That's excellent. So we're going to get that in just a second. That is so impressive. I gotta ask, Shui, do you want to do something with animation, film in the future?
Surprisingly, it's kind of funny, but no. I'm actually going into game design instead, yeah. So I'll be using sprites instead, so it's kind of animation.
So in terms of games, like what would be like your dream game type to illustrate?
Low-key, like fighter games, or I would go for story mode games too, like Life is Strange, or just Call of Duty in general.
Very cool. So here's the plan. I'm gonna call Remy back up for a poem, and then possibly capping off with Shui with an essay. I like it. All right. So welcome back, Remy.
Okay. This is the last you'll hear of me, I promise. This is one that I was going to originally do for this Writers' Week, and it was going to take up too much time, but now we have plenty of it, so yeah. This one's called Childhood Dog, and it's actually like a true experience, or sort of. The dog your dad buys for your parents' first Christmas together, in its little box with little holes poked in it, and a little pretty pink bow on the top, is your best friend. She used to be scared of the vacuum and anyone new who came into the house, but when you were born, it all changed. She hid under the bed, shaking at the thunderstorm, but you came home and suddenly she fought like a warrior on a mission, standing between you and the window, paws still violently quivering, but her teeth are bared and her eyes are narrow. As you grow, you find she doesn't like to play, but that doesn't mean she won't let you reach for her pink spotted snout with her soft, chubby hands. And she doesn't bite or move, because some things are more important than fear. You can grow more, but at some point she stays the same. And then there's a day where you notice the grays swirling under her eyes, the way she walks like you did as a toddler, her cloudy eyes, and the amount of times it takes to call her name before she comes to you. And then one day she's throwing up. She doesn't come when you pour her food, and she flinches when you touch her snout. And it hurts to get up and stand between you and the scary thing, or to stand up at all. It was inevitable, but it hurts. You will think maybe she's just sick, just taking a little nap. And your whole world changes when you let her taste her first Hershey's Kiss, because no dog should go to heaven not knowing what chocolate tastes like. And your parents will leave you in the car for a minute, and when they come back, the dog doesn't follow. But maybe someday, a young girl will find your dog's headstone and throw a stick for her one more time. Thank you. And my last thought is, you should come see the musical in April. It will be really fun.
And one last time, Shui.
So I know, surprise, surprise, it isn't another animation. This is actually my personal essay for college. Loki, shout out to Mrs. Kelly, because I performed it in her class last semester. But, okay, let's start. It's practically any immigrant's fate to be shoved into the dreadful route of computer science, especially if you're an Indian immigrant. Either you're already in computer science, you're taking computer science, or you're in Medcare. If you check none of those boxes, congratulations, you're a disappointment. So, as prophecy foretold, I was voluntold into computer science my freshman year. My dad passed the torch and uncharacteristically was so enthusiastic about the glories of STEM and how much he loved his IT job. That was the first time I've ever heard him use love and IT in the same sentence. Growing up, I watched him get into a 1v2 with his computer and the endless Zoom calls. He lost every time. That kind of glory just didn't resonate with me. The coffin was sealed. First day, I walked in, dread and despair. Plan was simple. Survive, flee. My first assignment was a lifeless sheet of code, just copy it word for word. I opened up Visual Studio, and with the energy of an iPhone 5 battery life, I smugly finished it faster than everyone else. I was a good typer, right? But I didn't realize when I was celebrating that I was done fast, everyone else was actually learning. That should have been my first clue that I dug myself into the hole. The first semester felt the same way. Despite I had good friends in that class, I was still bored. I was uninterested. I was just planning my escape every period. I got good grades, but I wasn't learning. I was just copying, pasting code. I didn't really understand the code. I didn't care to. I couldn't even recall the basic HTML format. And that's the foundation of all my assignments. Meanwhile, my peers were building masterpiece CSS sheets and drop-down menus and animations. I was impressed, but I just told myself that wasn't for me. Then, second semester arrived, everything shifted. Video games were introduced. The first game was Crossy Road style, and for once I looked up and I went, hey, low-key, Teresa's class is kind of cool right now. But most of the code was just provided. So I just did the bare minimum. But I slowly started experimenting. I played with timers, moving objects, messing with colors, finding the right palette, changing the images, and wondering what else can I create. It felt like a scavenger hunt. And the hunt kind of sparked my dormant curiosity. The next assignment was bread and cheese. And if you're in Intro to Comp Sci, you know that that's everyone's favorite. But it was my personal nightmare because I didn't know how to code. I was just copying stuff front to front. But this one, I actually had to understand what I was learning the first and second semester. The real project that was a life changer for me was our final project, build your own game from scratch. I dove into this project like a starving man. I was researching how to animate, I was designing my own graphics, and even the unspeakable, guys, I was asking for help. I spent months unbothered in that class. Suddenly, I was broken out of my comfort zone. I even talked to my friends about this game. I talked to the intern, who I was ignoring the whole semester. And was it perfect? Absolutely not. It was a train wreck. But it was mine. That project made me realize the difference between surviving and actually engaging in a course. Computer science stopped being a dreadful prophecy that I was forced into to becoming something I want to explore. And even now, it still frustrates me when a program crashes. Recently, I had 2 million errors, but we don't talk about that. But instead of walking away, I stay. And maybe I should thank my dad for pushing me down this road. And yes, I started off dreading it, but now I see the endless possibilities. And now my freshman year self would be surprised to figure out that I use love and coding in the same sentence, which I don't. It was only for this essay. And now if you see me in a 1v2 against my computer and the Zoom calls like my dad, you didn't see that. Shush. Thank you.
Such an amazing period. We're going to end in a couple minutes. However, one last message to leave you with from our writers. I want them all to offer one last reason why they think you should do Writers Week next year.
Why would you put me on the spot like this? I don't know, it's just really fun to, you don't even have to write something for it. You can just use one of your old pieces of writing. It is really fun to put yourself out there.
Yeah, I mean, the main reason people don't is because they're scared, but A, the worst that can happen isn't that bad, and B, just do it scared. That's how you grow.
Yeah, I would say it's a pretty good thing for seniors to do because it's kind of like your last hurrah. At least you get to participate in the last one if you haven't done it for like the last 3 years. So it's pretty fun for seniors.
I think you'll never get an opportunity like this again unless you find yourself in another auditorium with people willing to watch you read your writing like this. But I feel like to get this big crowd and have them actually listen to you to some extent is cool, yeah.
My question back is like, why not? Why not just do Writers Week? Why not just share your work? I mean, you're only going to be here for what, 4 years? Might as well share it.
I think because it shows so many people's like hidden talents. Like I've seen so many different things. I've seen people do like music and like rap battles, and I've seen like animations and all this stuff. Like it just really shows what people are capable of, and also like it's like 5 minutes of your life that you're going to genuinely remember for the rest of your life. Like why would you not do that?
Thank you so much, students. Amazing writing. Audience, thank you. You've been excellent.